There we go. All right.
Alright, so basically, what I did my thing, my persuasive speech on is organ donation, and basically, if there's something that you really, really want, but it's something that you can't live without, you know, there's things that people would need in order to survive life, and so on. But there's a story behind all this. I actually had a friend that needed a heart transplant. And when he decided to find out that he needed one, he put himself on the donation list right away. And once he did, they called him within a 6 month time span. They called him up twice to find out that they had a heart, available. But the problem was it wasn't a great match. So they had to send him back, and they had to wait again. And then finally, there was a guy who had an accident. It was fatal, and his heart was actually a match, and they were able to transplant his heart, and he was able to get that transplant right away. And after that, he was living fine. But this story ended up good, but not all stories end that way. The need for organ donation, is real. There's not enough of it here today, and here in the U.S., there's so many problems with it. There's just not enough to go around. People just aren't doing it. It's actually not really hard to do. There's only several things that you have to do in order to become an organ donor. Basically, the first thing that you have to do is mark down on your driver's license that you want to become an organ donor, or showing that you clarified that you are. The second part is you want to talk to your daily physician, any kind of doctor that deals with that kind of stuff, to make sure that you sign up, and then you tell them which which organs or tissues or anything that you want to donate when you do die. The next part is, you want to talk to your family about it, because you don't know how they would feel about it. Some families feel different about, whether or not, you should donate your organs or not. There's, religious beliefs behind it, and so on. But nationality, like nationwide, it's become like a pandemic. There's just not enough organs to go around, and people today can change that. Some of the facts, when it comes to organ donation, anyone, regardless of age, medical history, can actually sign up to be a donor. Most major religions in the United States support organ donation and consider donation as a final act of love and generosity towards others. And there's no cost to the donors or their families for organ or tissue donation. And then if you look down below, I have a chart. And basically, you can see the three lines. And the purple line that's going straight up, that is the people that are waiting on the list, waiting for an organ donation. And then these bottom two lines right here are people that actually signed up to become one, and the ones that actually successfully went through. Some interesting facts about organ donation. The four main things that people need, starting from the heart. Heart's the main thing that people need because it's one of the hardest things to give. You can't survive without a heart, so of course it's going to be the hardest one to get. The next one would have to be a liver. There's many problems considering for like old people, they have a hard time and they would need one. The next one would happen to be kidneys. You can survive without them at a certain point, but you have to go through so much medical problems in order to keep up, And then the next one's lung. People, have cancer or so on, get into some kind of accident, they get a punctured lung, and one of their lungs just stops functioning. Well, you can survive with just one lung, but it puts stress on the heart, and you can fatally die from it. I got a chart here that's showing, starting from the year I was born, The people that are waiting on the list, it started off as 15,000, and then there was only 5,900 donors, and only 12,618 transplants were, actually went through. But if you go down, it goes all the way down to 2012, which is now. It's actually over 115,000 people waiting on the list, and there's only been 30,000 transplants. And the need for the organs and stuff like that, it's just continually rising, and people just aren't doing what they need to do in order to do that and help change somebody's life. Doing these kind of things, I mean, yeah, you can sort of relate, because I've actually started thinking about doing it too myself, just from doing this project alone. And if I was able to help change someone's life by donating my organs and tissues, I don't see what the problem would be with it. But the biggest problem is people just don't sign up, and they actually have that accident and they didn't sign up for it, and everything's just put to waste. And there's nothing that they can do about it, because they can't harvest the organs and they can't do anything at the time of death. And with the organs, they have to come out fresh when you die, otherwise you can't use them. Some other reasons why you should donate is just the feeling and satisfaction that you can get knowing that you helped somebody, whether or not if it was somebody that you knew, or your family members, like your brother or sister. If, let's say, if one of them died unexpectedly, but to another family, because they chose to give their organs away, it basically, you're given another life. And just the feeling and satisfaction to meet them, knowing that they're able to start new, it's just sister's life wasn't put to waste. At least it would be, it'll put the easier burden on your family, knowing that your daughter or son that passed away was able to change one person's life. But there's a short message that I want to give. It was actually done by a famous basketball player named Michael Jordan, and he was actually one of the sponsors of the Iowa LifeGate Coalition. And what he says is, please make the decision to become an organ and tissue donor. But remember, share your life and share your decision.
Sorry.
And it just has a lot of meaning behind it. And, if you take the time to sit there and realize and think about it, his words actually have a lot of meaning to it. And he's actually on the, donation list for when he does pass away. So it's just not people that actually care. He actually puts the effort, and by donating and starting, fundraisers and stuff like that for all sorts of donations and stuff like that. And, just signing up today can change somebody's life if you put forth the effort and, research the knowledge. And, you never know. Some family can benefit from, your death, and your death wouldn't, be in, vain. Just show that.